Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Koi to Uso, or you can call it Love and Lies, which is on episode 5. Now, this episode here was actually pretty cool, not too bad. Although we get to know what kind of consequences there are to be when it comes to certain things if you cause some trouble. So, if anything else, let's begin. We have to it that after the opening, Nejima, along with Nisaka, Ririna-chan, and Misaki-chan ends up meeting up, get ready for camp. They all go to camp, and it looks like to me Nisaka can't cook, and Nejima had to cook up the curry himself. And of course, there was a scene between Misaka and Ririna-chan having fun in the swimsuits, which is actually pretty sexy, honestly. Just being honest right there. But of course, Ririna-chan ends up hurting herself and ends up having to be picked up in a princess-like walking format, and etc. And we get to know, and eventually, she does get healed up. And of course, there were a couple scenes between Misaki and Nisaka talking to each other. And when it comes to Ririna-chan, we get to hear more about Nejima's dream about being a professional, a passionate guide to certain runes or languages that involves certainty. And of course, there were times on this episode, on this trip, when it comes to Nejima thinking that Nisaka has feelings for Takasaki-san. And apparently, he ends up asking him something like, is there something that you want to tell me, or something you're hiding, etc. And but before, let me see here, Nisaka could really answer, we have to it that Ririna-chan ends up coming out of nowhere and does the test of courage, and eventually puts Takasaki and Nejima-kun together, and Ririna-chan with Nisaka talking to him. Although there were some nice scenes between Misaki and Nejima-kun, we had to it that they did get into a small accident, although it was nothing much, and then Takasaki just pulls Nejima to her to caress him possibly. And there was a scene between Ririna-chan and Nisaka, because this is where it gotten really serious, etc. Because there are times where you gotta be careful what you're doing, because if you reject a certain marriage proposal, it'll only be hard for you to get anywhere you want to. For example, if you reject the marriage proposal and Nejima-kun tries to get into a freaking private school, you're not gonna get in there, because they go I can't believe you did this, etc. You're not welcome. So pretty much it's putting on a bad record. For example, it's you end up doing criminal activity, or do you driving under influence of an alcohol, they're not gonna accept you for the job or for your resume to a school application, because you have this on your record and you're not worthy, etc. So should the marriage be canceled or they reject the idea of it, then something like Nejima won't be able to get into a certain school he wants to go to because of he rejected the marriage proposal. And that is what Nisaka is trying to warn Ririna-chan about, and you have to be sure what you're doing. But in the end, if you ever cause any more mischief than usual, then you're only going to cause more trouble. Before they could continue, we have to that they see the firefly that, of course, Nejima-kun and Takasaki-chan end up seeing as well. And they end up meeting each other and end up following a place of fireflies, and Nisaka seems to not like fireflies or bugs in general. And it looks like to me they're having a fun time watching the fireflies, and they all take separate ways. And we have to it that when Nisaka was talking to Nejima-kun about something that he was about to reveal on the day he kissed him, if anything, just stating off the obvious like that, we have to it that he just says sorry and just leaves. And of course, Ririna-chan and Nejima-kun ends up having a little small talk with each other. And the preview in the next episode, oh dear lord, before the credits, we have to it that they're gonna have some kind of special notice of special training. And this time it ends up involving maybe sexual advances, etc. Especially when I saw the preview of the episode involving a condom. And I'm thinking in my mind, are you for freaking real? Is this supposed to be like something that's alive right now? That's what I'm thinking, because it's I'm like, oh gosh. So aside from certain like aside from the camping trip, we get to know a little bit about like the consequences should you really reject the marriage idea or proposal. Like that is already like given, and that's the only thing that I kind of gave out in this episode a bit. The camping trip was like anything else that you could find any trip or vacation on any anime series, honestly. Just speaking out the truth. But aside from that, it was pretty simple, nothing else. So until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'm off for Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, right? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toodaloo!